Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Power or Might. Mike today with Bob Walk and with Booker T. And today on Power or Might, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday on Collision or Hit. Yesterday on Collision or Hit, we saw Asuka beat Velasquez and keep the TWF heavyweight winnings for another day. However, who will be the next man or woman to Lear to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings? Well, I could tell you one thing right now, Bob Walk says. I could tell you one thing now, Mike. The way things are, Asuka has seemed to be beating every man and woman that she gets in a ring with, and who knows how long it will be before that comes to an end. Well, I can't tell you how long that's going to be, before that even does come to an end or not. But I could tell you one thing right now, Booker T says. Asuka seems to be the unbeatable, unstoppable, and unyieldable TWF heavyweight fighter, Mike and Bob. And that's just the way it is. Well, we'll have to learn. Someone will know who will be the next man or woman to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Alright, Ric Flair says, everyone wants to know who will be the next man or next woman to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. However, it is hard to pick that man or that woman because there are many wrestlers, fighters, overstars, whatever you want to call them. So, whoever that's going to be, we're going to have to learn who that's going to be. And it's hard because everyone wants to have, that shot. Shit. Everyone wants to have that shot for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Everyone wants to be that man, wants to be that woman. So it's going to be hard for me to name who I think should be the next one. But sooner or later, there's no more. Well, sooner or later, we will have that next man or that next woman, will be named, the fight for the TWF, heavyweight winnings. And I don't want to just, pick, I just don't want to pick someone out of luck. And then the scathing goes, oh, well, so-and-so wasn't ready. You picked so-and-so out of, just out of luck. So, whoever, that next man or woman, is going to be, we'll let you know truly soon who that's going to be. Rick, I think you already have the answer to that. I believe that I should be the next one to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Now, I'm not going to go blow everyone's time and talk about all the things I did in OVW and WWE and TNA and ROH and the NWA and AEW and WWE. I'm not going to do any of that. But I do think that it is my time to fight and win back the TWF heavyweight winnings for the 2-week time, ending Asuka's 2-week run as TWF heavyweight fighter. Well, that's true. Yes, Cody, you have done a lot of things in OVW and WWE and TNA and NWA and ROH and AW and WWE. That's two. Hell, you even done things in the TWF as well. So, yes, I do think that you should have the right to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings at our next show, Halloween Havoc, or Halloween Madness, which is happening on the 30th of this year. And good luck to you, because Cody Rhodes, Vinlander Nightmare, you're gonna need it. Woo! Well, it looks like now we know who Cody Rhodes is going to be wrestling and fighting, for the TWF, heavyweight winnings. It's going to be Cody Rhodes, it's going to be Cody Rhodes, fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings next month at Halloween Havoc or Hell Evening Madness, our next Yield show coming up next month. Mike today says, yeah. And what I would want to know is that how are some of the other folks in the in the toy wrestling gathering going to handle the news? Because some of them are not good at dealing, with bad news. Because some of them are not good at dealing with bad news. Mike today says, you got that right, Mike Link. You got that right, Bob Walk says. There are a lot of folks in the toy wrestling gathering that do not know how to handle bad news when it comes their way. Oh no. Well, speaking of one that can't handle bad news, Booker T said, that's Naomi Knight. Oh, so Cody Rhodes, you're gonna fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. I call bullshit on that one. I've been in the toy wrestling gathering for some time, and I never won a strap. I didn't win the tag team winnings, or the women's tag team winnings, or the TWF women's heavyweight winnings, or the women heavyweight winnings, or the TWF Allegheny Share Pennsylvania Rock winnings, or even the TWF Hard Middle winnings to the 24/7 winnings. I think that I should be the next one to fight for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Naomi Knight, with all due onlook, and you can't stand up without a stand. With all due onlook, Naomi, I'm not going to take away anything from you. All right? Yes, you were a former FCW women's heavyweight fighter when you were in FCW. When you came to WWE, you didn't really start out so well. You were working with Brodus Clay. And then you somehow, during your Sundre Hill run, and then somehow you became a two-time woman world heavyweight fighter in your first run in WWE, a former WWE women's tag team fighter. Then your run in TNA when you became a TNA woman heavyweight fighter. Your two-riff run in WWE when you became a two-time WWE women's tag team fighter. And then a three-time woman heavyweight fighter. I'm not going to take anything away from what you did in FCW, WWE, TNA, or WWE. But I think I have worked hard enough, so I think I should be the one that has it. You are not going to be wrestling or fighting Asuka, because that is to me. Well, why don't I have a match with you, Naomi? And if I beat you, I go on to fight Asuka. And if you beat me, then you go on to fight Asuka. That be fair? That's fair. Ding ding. They're going to shake hands. No, Naomi Knight just slapped Cody Rhodes and then body slammed him. Only in a toy wrestling gathering will you see men and women wrestle each other. And Naomi Knight right now, picking up Cody Rhodes and a body slam. And down goes Cody Rhodes, the Vinlander Nightmare, Mike today says. Tell you, Bob Walk says, Naomi Knight, who came from either big lots or ollies, and she never did get that shot for any strap in the toy wrestling gathering, Bob Walk says. Booker T says, and Cody Rhodes did. Cody Rhodes should just give the match to her. They shouldn't have to be wrestling. Well, it's the only fair thing to do, Mike, today, says Booker. You know, it's the only fair thing to do. If Naomi Knight beats Cody Rhodes, she can fight Asuka. If Cody Rhodes beats Naomi Knight, then he can fight Asuka. 1, 2, and only a kick out. But I still think it's not fair to Naomi Knight that she has to wrestle for that right. Well, life is not fair, Booker T. What would you wanted? Cody Rhodes to just give up? You know, and would you want Cody Rhodes just to, give up and say, okay, Naomi, you take my stead. I think this is the fairest thing to do, Mike today said. Here comes the catastrophe kick, Mike today says. The Cody Cutter, Bob Walk says. Cody Rhodes is getting ready for his last hold, Bob Walk says. Here it comes, Mike today said. Brown Street on Naomi Knight. Yeah, 4 moves, 4 holds of doom, Booker T says. And somehow Cody Rhodes is beloved, and he has 4 holds of doom instead of 2 or 3 holds of doom. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. And now still has the right to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Shit! Cody Rhodes. Well, I can tell you right now, Mike today says that we now know that Cody Rhodes is the one. We do know, that Cody Rhodes is the one that has the right to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings by being Naomi Knight here today on Powerrr Might, Mike today says. Yeah, we did see that happen, Bob Walk says. And at the end of the day, Bob Walk says, it was the fairest thing to do. It could have gone any way. Naomi Knight could have won, or Cody Rhodes could have won. I still think at the end of the day, Booker T says that Cody Rhodes should have just given the spot to Naomi Knight instead of having a match or having a fight. Well, speaking of that, Mike today says that's your belief here. We're going to take it away now to Jonathan Coachman. All right. Thank you, Mike, today. And Bob Walk, I'm going to be talking with Cody Rhodes here today on Powerrr Might. All right, Cody Rhodes. You now have the right to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings next month at Halloween Havoc or Halloween Evening Madness. How does that make you feel? Well, first off, Bob Walk, Jonathan Coachman, it makes me feel truly good that I will be fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Did I know at the end of the day, I'll know at the end of the day that I can be the one to beat Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Now, I'm not going to go say that I'm unbeatable or I'm unstoppable because that's dumb. And I know that I'm not unbeatable or I'm not unstoppable. I know I can be beaten, alright? But Asuka seems to believe that she is unstoppable, unbeatable, and unyieldable, and that is not true. No man or woman is. So, at Halloween Havoc or Hell Evening Madness, I will beat Asuka and I'll become the two-time TWF heavyweight fighter. And that will happen sooner or later, next month. But I do have onlook for Asuka and Naomi Knight beating up on Cody Rhodes. Ha ha! You have onlook for Asuka. You had no onlook for me, Vin Leonard Nightmare. Fuck you! That should have been me! It should have been me. It should have been me. It should have been me. Oh, here, look, here's a boat, Cody. Here's your boat. Fuck you and your boat. Well, looks like, looks like it is all the time we got here. You know, for TWF Powerrr Might. Mike today with Bob Walk and with Booker T. We hope you like Powerrr Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw.